Hey, what's up, y'all? Have a few techniques for y'all today on how to work shorelines, how to cover water, how to be a lot more efficient at catching fish, and just having a better day on the water. It takes a lot of, whether you're in a kayak or a boat, it takes a lot of positioning and keeping control of your kayak or your boat with a trolling motor. Gonna give you a few scenarios, and this is how I started off inshore fishing, and this is how I learned a little bit more. I kept learning how to read the water, and when I wasn't sure what was going on, all I was hearing, just like a lot of other people that book trips with me, they're just hearing noises out there, and then eventually you will put those noises together, and you will know that it's not all just bait fish. So until you get to that point, I'm going to give you some scenarios on what to do and what I used to do, and I still do, except now I don't do it until I see and hear the game fish. So, but for now, if you're a little less experienced, as long as you're covering water and you're covering islands and stuff like that, and some of the scenarios I'm going to give you, if you keep moving through and making some fan cast and covering water, your numbers will go up, you'll start to catch more fish, and you'll be a lot more consistent. And then eventually you'll put together the noises and the water movements and the things that I can see that I know are fish. So we'll just pick these islands right here. Redfish love hanging around close to islands where it's shallow. They don't need much water. So how do you work an island to be as efficient as you can? You get your kayak or your boat, you start on one end. Preferably in this situation, we want it to be a south wind. It'll be blowing that way, and that'll blow you right along this island. That would be a perfect scenario. Of course, they're not always perfect. Sometimes maybe it's a southeast wind, but you will still start at the bottom down here, and you will still be working with the wind for the most part. You'll have to sometimes come back out and then go with the wind, come back out and then go with the wind, but you're covering all of this area close to the island where redfish like to hang out. So what you do is you position your kayak or your boat pretty dang close to that island, and you're gonna fan cast. You're gonna cast and try to work all the area that you can reach, and when you finish that fan cast, you're gonna move your kayak or your boat on down to where you were casting to, and you're gonna start the process all over again. You're gonna fan cast again, not spending much time, like 5 minutes. Make 10 or 15 casts, move on down and keep doing the same thing. And eventually, and it won't take very long if you're not spending too much time, eventually you will work this whole island edge. And then when you get done with that, you can come around, start all over again, but now work this side of the island. This side of the island has a little channel in here, so if you're not doing any good in shallow close to the island, then your next scenario is to come out on the channel edge and fan cast the channel edge, even the shallow parts, and then cast into the deeper water, which is blue. And then you're going to move your kayak or your boat on down, and you're going to keep doing it. So that is how we catch fish. That's how we cover water, and that's how we are pretty productive most of the time. And like I said, if I'm going along all these islands and I'm not seeing the bait activity that I want to see, the bait that's nervous, the bait that's scattering, the loud noises, then I'm going to keep moving down that island. Some of the islands are really long; they're like a mile long that I fish, and I usually don't start fishing until I see that activity. But there's days when the activity is real low, and if that's all you're looking for, then you won't really be doing much casting. So it just depends, man. Sometimes you have to just cover water, and you can catch fish on days when it's a low activity day. Not a whole lot of bait jumping, not a lot of fish blowing up on it and stuff like that, but you can catch fish by covering water. Don't spend, like I said, more than about 15 casts and then reposition your kayak or your boat. If it's a low wind day, you don't need to anchor. You can just kind of drift and then keep keep your kayak and your boat positioned the direction you want to go. Every couple of casts that you make, you're going to have to reposition your kayak or hit the trolling motor on your boat and keep it going. You have to, it's a big deal. It's a huge deal to keep your kayak or your boat in control. If you're not keeping it in control, then you get blown off away from the area that you're working, and you know, sometimes it's a less productive day. And it depends, you know. I know plenty of people just drift. They don't move or nothing. They just drift all the way across the flat, and they catch fish like that too. But if you're working structure such as an island or a channel edge or even some rock jetties, then I like to fish tight. I like to get my kayak as tight as I can, make those fan casts, try to work along those rocks, and then move on down and do it again. You're gonna spend a little bit more time when you get to a structure change. The structure change will be this gut that runs between the rocks. They break up right there, and current goes in and out of these guts or cuts, and depending on which way the wind or the current is going will depend on which side I really want to work. If I see current or wind coming this way and all that water and current's getting pushed out like that, so is all the bait fish, and the game fish know that, and they will be out here somewhere. So I will spend a lot more time in a structure change area like this, and I will position pretty close to the end, and I want to be able to cast all in here. Everywhere you're seeing the bait and the bait activity getting funneled through those guts is where you want to work, and just cover that, and then go on down to the next one. You can definitely, you know, work the whole jetty edge. Fish like to hang around structure, so the closer you get to these rocks, the more productive you'll be. So I had a trip the last couple of days with Richard, Bobby, and Megan. I appreciate y'all for booking 2 trips in a row with me. We had a pretty good day. We caught a few keepers each day and a whole bunch of little ones, but that's not bad considering that they were new to their kayaks. They brought their own kayaks, except Megan, she used one of mine. Bobby and Richard brought their Old Town with the trolling motor, the Minn Kota, and then Bobby had the other one. I forget the name of them, but basically electric motors, and they have some figuring out to do. They got to get comfortable in that kayak and be able to position it and maintain the course and really cover water. So we all have to start somewhere. I usually tell my customers, let's get good at the kayaking part, and then we'll focus on catching fish. And a lot of times when I know they're struggling, I just let them drift across an area that I'm seeing activity. I'll put them upwind and I'll tell them, okay, let's just drift across here. And then I do my thing. I'm not good with drifting. I get too bored. I see something and I want to go over to it. So drifting definitely works. You catch some fish drifting, and you don't have to spend a lot of time repositioning your kayak, because you're just letting your kayak drift and you're casting. So several different ways to kayak fish or to fish out of a boat, and you know, they all are good. It's just some people have something they like better. For me, it's, you know, working structure and keeping my kayak right down the edge of whatever I'm working. So if y'all are interested in booking a trip or in the gear that I use, or if you want 20% off your fishing apparel, you can use the code CFF. It's short for Clean Fun Fishing, and all that stuff is on my website, cleanfunfishing.com. Thanks for watching. Let's go get them tight.
I've been acting like a wild man, sleeping like a child, so luminous and vibrant. I'm always in bloom for you, always in bloom, always in bloom for you. Times I've stranded, a castaway, and I'm
Good topwater strike. Good red too. Come on, big old dude. I don't know why I'm getting the net. We'll just grip him. Good slot fish. Heck yeah. On the Yozuri. One of my favorites, actually. That and Rapala. Nice fish, though. They might end up being, you know, a little closer to the island today with the tide so high.
So you say I should get closer to the...
Well, we're just make sure that you keep going towards the island. Don't let that little breeze push you away. So, yeah, even though it's real light, it is pushing us away from the island. So use your pedal drive to kind of stay relatively close to the island. We're pretty close. We're getting, you see all the bait moving out there, you know, so that's what you want to kind of aim for. If you see that bait do something big and make a loud noise and you can't reach it, then try to get a little closer and then start casting. Oh, he's on it. Need a little bit smaller. He busted that bait and I threw right to it. And that's how you do it. Usually. Hang on, buddy. I'm gonna let you go. Did you hear that one bust in front of you? No. Yeah, it's just a different sound. It's like it was a suction noise. It was right up against the mangroves, just straight ahead of your kayak. All of us are in activity, so. If y'all see the bait do something crazy like that, y'all try to ease up to where you can reach it on a cast. Oh, really? Yeah. They're in here. All this bait is nervous. All of that, Megan, is good stuff. Get out of here, bird. You're messing our bait up. That's just happening because the bird. Man, it's freaking hot today. What happened to that fall freaking weather? South Texas for you. All right, wake bait. Let's go do some work. What was all that noise? That stupid bird. Be distracting me, bird. Boy, I thought something good was happening. Sounded good. There we go. They're in here. It's a good fish. Pretty good. He ain't ripping too much drag, but gonna be low end slot. I assume so far. On the wake bait. Yeah, it's a pretty good one. Looks like my... Yeah, we don't see that. Yeah, redfish. He's keeper size too. I'm gonna measure him just for the heck of it. He's probably 21. It's so freaking hot and humid, my glasses are fogging up. 22.
Keeper?
Yeah, he's keeper.
It's there. Someone's catching something.
Well, y'all ought to.
Yeah,
There's fish in here. We'll just keep on working it.
I forgot that you put a fish in the net right there and it went off. I was like, what was that?
Yeah. Yeah, they stay alive for a long time. Just keep staying kind of by my side, but you know, like 50 feet over towards the end of the inside of the shoreline, and we'll just keep moving this way. Yeah, they're everywhere. All of this is good action, good activity. Y'all having a party? Y'all need anything or?
No, I'm backlashed. I don't have enough line, and I'm just old.
I had to take off a bunch of line on mine. I don't know what it is.
I can't throw anymore.
I did these. I've got a deal that spools these things.
Okay.
I just
Did you-
screwed up.
Did you want to use one of my spinning casts?
No,
No?
no. It's. I got it now. I got it all.
Oh, you got it? Okay.
Yeah, I'll try one.
You want one, Bobby? Okay.
I don't have.
It's got real light line on it, so it's kind of a...
Oh, I don't care.
It-
I can't probably hurt that one. I'm a mess.
Y'all having a hard time?
Oh, I can't. That's why I couldn't keep up with y'all. I was always constantly getting
I'm gonna move up just a little
messed
bit
up.
more.
And this one didn't have enough line because I had to cut it. And this other one's got this stinking braid that's like.
This is braid on this one.
Wait, that's braid?
Yeah, I only use
Well,
braid.
that's like monofilament. Feels like it.
This is the size of 2-pound mono, but it has 10-pound breaking strength, so
Oh,
it's
okay.
really small and it casts further,
Yeah.
and
Well,
it sometimes wraps around the rod tip. It just depends on how you approach the whole cast
well,
and everything.
I even had an eye of my. This is my favorite one, and it's got too much. I had to take a lot of the out of it. And,
Yeah.
Then I lost one of my things there, and it was hanging there. So I was messed.
Yeah.
So I just.
Yeah, I just throw. You notice that the bait sometimes makes a lot louder splash than everything else.
Yeah.
I just throw to stuff like that.
Yeah. I
And
couldn't quite get good to it.
yeah,
But it was all around me one time, but I was usually trying to fix the rod.
yeah.
They were splashing all around me.
This drag is already set how it should be,
Okay.
and if he pulls drag, let him pull it. because otherwise, if you tighten it, he'll break. The redfish will break it. Do you use the handle on the right or the left?
I can use either one.
Either one?
I started
Okay.
using, I just fixed mine to put it on the right, so I was gonna, I used to do it the old way. I'm left-handed, and I used to throw it with the right hand and do this.
Yeah.
So,
Every once in a while, check and make sure that weed guard is just above the hook like it is right there, because if it's down below it, it'll catch even more grass.
I've been catching grass, that's why
I catch a little bit of grass no matter what, but that'll help a little bit, and you'll keep your rod tip high and reel them in pretty fast, you know. Throw it out there. I want to watch your speed and your retrieve, and I'll tell you, you know, a little bit faster, and then once you get it right, then that's the way you'll do it from here on out. That's the correct speed, Bobby. That is the correct speed, just like you're doing it. Usually what I do right before it hits the water, I try to close the bell and go ahead and start reeling it, you know, because sometimes if you let it sink, it'll catch the grass. There you go. I knew it was gonna happen at some point. They're freaking everywhere. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, pull the net up a little bit.
Yes, now we know they're out there.
No, they're all around us. They're not biting all that great anymore.
Yeah, he's too little. They have to be 20 inches, right?
Yeah, 20 to 28. He's about 18 or 19. Yeah.
Just got your tongue pierced a little bit. Thanks.
Yeah, he's a little bit short. Come on, dude, be still.
I'll throw you back in. That's how your phone's so big.
Here's your net.
Thank you.
She got another one. Let's go help her out. She's good at getting it in the net, that's for sure. He's closer, you think? Yeah. It's not your fault. It ain't gonna hurt those kayaks. Yeah, he's small. That's okay though. I've had a bunch of them bump at it, but I had a good one swallow it, but he didn't get it. So still a nice red though.
Dang it.